My first initial reaction to UFC 301, the UFC didn't even hold a press conference. How do you expect a flyweight to make pay-per-view points? Because if this card didn't do over 200,000 buys, he ain't getting shit. Steve Erceg was the better striker. He did way more damage in that fight. And then when I look at Pantoja, it's almost like he's getting through the fight. He's not excelling through the fight. You give Steve Erceg another year, 2 years, I think he beats Pantoja. All right, boys, welcome back to the channel. We got a not brand new breakdown, but we're in Hawaii right now watching Anthony Smith versus Vitor. Round one, here we go. Oh, he's in for that. That's a tight guillotine. What a dumbass. He died. Wow. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I did not see that coming. Okay, here we go, boys. We got Jose Aldo taking on Jonathan Martinez. Oh, yeah, that rocked him. That rocked him. Oi, oi, left hook. Another knee. That left hook caught him. Oh, he's still hurt. Oh, why would you take him down? Why would he take him down like that? All right, boys, here we go. Main event. Alexandre Pantoja, aka Cannonball. Don't know who gave him that nickname. I think Bruce Buffer's high tonight. He's been doing outlandish shit, but here we go. Oi, there's that left hook. Oi, oi, sprawl. See, this is where beautiful shots landed by Steve and cuts him, but he's got to bop and defend, bop defend, bop defend. Boo, beautiful elbow. He literally just gave the fight away by trying to wrestle a guy who can't box. And see, this is the biggest thing. I think it just comes from experience for Erceg, just not having the experience of like finishing someone when you know you're beating the hell out of them. End of the fight, great fight, but I just feel, I think Erceg gave that fight to Pantoja. Like, I think if Erceg would have kept step behind his jab, stop wrestling him, he would have been fine. All right, let me break this down. And obviously, we had to do some picks on PrizePicks. We went 2 out of 3. Canelo Alvarez landed 243 shots against against Munguia. Absolute crazy fight. And then also we went less with Jose Aldo. He covered. And then we went with less fight time with the Anthony Smith fight because he ended up getting the first round submission. Ladies and gentlemen, this was probably the most exciting part about watching these fights tonight, which was PrizePicks, which you guys can have the same excitement if you go to your app store, whether it's Android or iPhone, download PrizePicks. And when you do that, make sure you use my promo code MIGHTY. They will match up to $100 every deposit and get yourself in the best daily fantasy sports game, which is PrizePicks. And when you make those picks, you obviously know where to make those picks, ladies and gentlemen. Make it the right place, which is PrizePicks. Okay, boys, welcome back to the channel. We just got done watching UFC 301. My first initial reaction to UFC 301, you know, it's very hard. You know, not every single fight card, not even in, you know, Bellator, PFL, One Championship, UFC, you name it, not every single one of them are going to be absolute banger. Going into this fight, you know, one, let's start off that the UFC didn't even hold a press conference, right? Like, they didn't hold a press conference, but typically they always hold a press conference for pay-per-view events. This one they didn't, so me and my producer were very shocked by that, and just not a whole lot of buzz surrounding this fight card. I mean, if you even look at, you know, the views on the channel, we broke down one of the greats, King of Rio, Jose Aldo. They did about maybe 36,000 views, and then you look at our final predictions, it did about 24,000 views time of filming this. So the biggest thing going into this, when flyweights headline a UFC pay-per-view, I'm one of them. I headlined multiple UFC pay-per-views, you know, was a champion for 6 years. It's very frustrating when I think they have to, my personal opinion, they have to just let the flyweights be a co-main event. Don't let us be main event, right? Because we don't drive enough buzz to obviously garner a fucking a press conference. But anywho, about that, let's get to some of the highlights of the card. One, homeboy doing a backflip into a guillotine. Absolutely incredible. Michael Pereira, just absolutely super athletic, very fun to watch. Big specimen for the weight class. Always enjoy him. He's always doing outlandish stuff, unorthodox stuff where you're not going to know what he's going to throw. Okay, let's go to the next fight. Anthony Smith versus Vitor. Once again, I think this is probably the night you can say athletes made the probably wrong decisions. You had Vitor walking down Anthony Smith against the cage, and then what does he do? He shoots a double leg, lands right into a fucking guillotine, and gets caught in a guillotine, and gets up and goes, Anthony Smith was correct. There are levels to this game, but there's also levels of stupidity to the game as well. If you're going to shoot a double leg, I did against Tim Elliott. Once I knew he was going to shoot, he was going to do a guillotine on me, I would shoot on purpose, give him my neck, and jump to the other side to get a free guard pass and a free takedown. So once again, there's levels to the game. There's also levels of stupidity to the game. And then let's go to the co-main event, the King of Rio taking on Martinez. Now, the biggest thing that I enjoy to watch in Aldo is it's still Aldo. It's not old-fashioned Aldo where we had in the WC days where he was just, you know, take out people's lead legs. But, you know, Aldo did have a signature body shot, some leg kicks. But one of the things I really enjoyed about Aldo, what he did very well was he would go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or 3 to the body, and then he would press into the void. He would go 1, 2, 3, either head or body, and then once Martinez will back out of the void, you would see Martinez come into the void, and once he came into that void, you would see Aldo throw that lead knee, which would frame against him, would stop Aldo, which would stop Homeboy for coming in even further. And then obviously Aldo won the fight, and Aldo ended up getting the takedown at the very end of the fight and finish on top of that fight. Now, let us go to the main event of the evening. Alex Pantoja taking on Steve Erceg. Now, I was impressed by Steve Erceg. I was very impressed by him. I honestly thought Alex Pantoja was going to finish him, get his back and finish him. But Steve Erceg was the better striker. He did way more damage in that fight against Alex Pantoja. I think Steve Erceg just didn't get going a lot sooner. You know, obviously, and also another thing, I felt like he made some bad decisions in the fight. Now, I always talk about you need to put a different piece on the puzzle of the game when you are fighting, and I believe in that. You need to do that. But that's only if you are not winning a certain part of the game, where Steve Erceg was destroying Alex Pantoja on the feet. My personal opinion, if you look at all those guys, Alex Pantoja was bloodied up. Yes, Steve was getting hit, but those shots weren't significant enough to make Steve worry about his stand-up. But then Steve would shoot a double leg. He would shoot a double leg against the better grappler, the better scrambler against Alex Pantoja. And that's what I felt allowed Alex Pantoja to stay in the fight and win the fight. Like, I felt, you know, when I was watching the fight, I didn't feel like Alex Pantoja was a better fighter. I felt like Alex Pantoja he's a champ, but I felt it's like pop, pop, pop. His grappling is his strongest suit. If you keep him away from his grappling, then he's pretty much, I feel, you can take advantage of him, right? Like, it's not like he can't find the clinch. There was no elbows. There was no dumping him to the side. It was basically run at you with my hands down and punch and go for a takedown and then take you down. There was no jab move, jab slip, uppercut, boom, boom. There's no crisp on the feet, you know what I mean? Or no body kicks, you know? So for me, Steve impressed me mostly in this fight because Steve was, you know, he'd come to the edge of the void, he'd throw a jab, he'll move off, be very slick on the feet. And then the only thing that Steve Erceg did very wrong was he just tried to shoot where he didn't have to shoot. He didn't have to grapple against Alex Pantoja, especially every single time Alex Pantoja would get to a dominant position. When Alex Pantoja would get to his back, get to mount, Steve was able to get back to his feet and get back to where he was his best at, which was on his feet. But I felt like he gave up that 5th round. You know, even then I was like, you know, like, even though it was IBJJF, you know, he shot, he didn't get the takedown, he got reversed, so he got 2. Alex Pantoja did mount, but he didn't secure the mount, so he got pushed back down. So it's not like, but it's not IBJJF, it's not grappling, it's just fighting. So a very interesting thing. Like when I sit here and I watch, and then I feel Pantoja cuts too much weight. Even though he fights, he said even though he looks tired, he's not tired, but that's the way he fights. It doesn't seem to me of someone who's like, I don't know. Like when I look at the past champions, when I look at Figgy, absolute amazing champion, power, great athleticism. When I look at Himmer Cejudo, he would move and move so good. He's finishing people. And then when I look at myself, I was moving, finishing people. And then when I look at Pantoja, it's almost like he's getting through the fight. He's not excelling through the fight. What am I by excelling? It's not like he's getting stronger as the fight goes on. It's almost like he starts strong and then he kind of plateaus. And then it's like, I got your back, I'm hanging on. And then he's staying there, he's stuck there. I'll try to try to transition. And that can also be, like I said once before, it could be the weight cut. It can also be just the experience of being a champion, fighting, a lot of emotions. I have to do long training camp. I have no idea. But as an analyst, as a spectator, as a content creator, when I'm watching the fights, and as one of the best in the world who's fought at this division for a very, very long time and been a champion for 11 consecutive title defense for 6 years, and then went over to one championship, became a champion. Those are the things I see. So when I'm watching, I'm like, I think you give Steve Erceg another year, 2 years, I think he beats Pantoja. And then that's the problem with the flyweight division, is that there's not a lot of athletes there. Now you do have Mokaev, who's next. Mokaev, I think Mokaev can beat Alex Pantoja because 1, he's better on the feet. 2, he has a better wrestling background. 3, I think he will be better about not making a decision of like, hey, I can beat Pantoja on the feet. I don't need to take him down. So we just got to make sure when we get close to each other, you got to make sure you keep him down. Don't let him take you down. So I thought it was a great fight. But all in all, I think UFC 301, it could have been a regular card. And now let's talk about being a flyweight, and now you have pay-per-view points. How do you expect a flyweight to make pay-per-view points? Because if this card didn't do over 200,000 buys, he ain't getting shit. He's gonna get his base pay, and that's about it. And then so that's why it's a very interesting thing. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. We were kind of hesitant on doing a live reaction. Bye, Eva! Doing a live reaction. See you guys for this fight card, just because there wasn't a lot of buzz. But for me, I just want to keep on producing content, and I think not every card is going to be banger. But I guarantee you guys, I was going to give the best content and my best reaction and my best thoughts as I watch these fights. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you like, subscribe. Also, hit the fucking bell to know when we go live. We out. Cheer. Well, damn.